Welcome to the Hounds Tales podcast. On this episode, we sit down with Mr. Brandon, and Lord, I hope I say this name right. This is one I'm struggling with. Villarreal. He is the owner of Livewires J-Dubb. That's a hound that has been on a pretty good little hot streak over the past 2 years. He has done something that is very notable, in my opinion. It made a champion on the outside. He's also been a champion on the inside and dual championed. I think that's something that's pretty neat. I have been following that story a little bit, and wanted to hear the whole story of J-Dubb and where he come from and all that kind of good stuff. Kind of hear the stories of each of those hunts, and I got to sit down with Brandon and have that conversation in this episode. So y'all sit down, strap in, and hold on tight. It's a great episode, and hope y'all enjoy. All right, guys, let's get it going. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds Tales podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a need for dog supply items such as Garmin products, bark collars, remote trainers, name tags, field trial and hunt dog supplies, supplements and first aid, dog fences, used and refurbished collars, and much, much more. Where can you go to get that? Outdoor Dog Supply. Outdoor Dog Supply is a leader when it comes to Garmin Tritronics trade-in program. They were one of the first Garmin dealers to start accepting Garmin buyback trade-ins toward purchases. Outdoor Dog Supply currently accepts both working and some non-working units. Be sure to check in with these guys at Outdoor Dog Supply or at 757-482-1000. And their hours of operation are from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you're in the Chesapeake area in Virginia, be sure to stop in. Go see these guys in person. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online sales as far as Garmin products go and your hunting dog supply needs. This is where I go to get all my stuff. Might as well join me in it. All right, guys. Again, be sure to check these guys out, outdoordogsupply.com, and thank them for coming on board with the Hounds Tales podcast. Let's get back to the episode. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales podcast. Tonight, I am joined by a special guest, Mr. Brandon, and you're going to have to help me out with this last name. I should have asked you before we started recording. How do you say your last name?
Villarreal.
Okay, I thought it's spelled just like it sounds. Perfect. For those that don't know, we'll kind of do a little introduction here in a second, but he is the owner of Livewires J-Dubb, a dog that has been hitting extremely well here lately, and we're going to sit down and talk about that. So, Brandon, I appreciate you joining me tonight, man.
Yeah, man. I've been waiting on you to ask me.
It's definitely well earned, man. When you got a dog like J-Dubb, man, he deserves all the credit he can get, man. That's it's been on a roll. So before we get started talking about him, kind of just give us a brief little, kind of who you are, where you're from, how long you've been into dogs, man.
I am from pretty much Daytona Beach, Florida, right around Daytona Beach. I have been field trialing since 2015. Been deer hunting a little bit longer than that. My buddy got me into the field trialing. And since then, that's been doing that.
I got you.
I mean, I still deer hunt. Deer hunt's a big part of my life, but after deer season, it's nothing but field trials.
That's right. So, that I guess, you're a little different than a lot of my other guests that I've had on here. You got into it, kind of late in life. Didn't really start off. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know how old you are, but I would assume you probably didn't get started until, teens, 20s?
No, yeah, it was about 22, 23 is when I went to my first when I started deer hunting, actually.
Okay.
No one in my family really deer hunted. Had a couple uncles up north deer hunt, and bunch of my buddies deer hunted with dogs, and I kind of just stepped into it, got me a couple dogs, and that was that. And ended up with one dog named Livewire. I bought him as a puppy, and he turned out to be, the real deal. And one of my buddies, the one that got me into field trial, and he said, "Man, we got to take this dog to a field trial. Just see what he does." I knew nothing about it, and
Right.
he painted a number on him and entered it under his kennel name. And the first 3 day I ever went to down there in the wild, he ended up winning. Took one dog and made him a champion.
Wow.
And then from then on, it was field trial after deer season.
You talk about how to get somebody hooked. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, man, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know what you did. That was it.
You just happened to walk into the good dog.
Yep, that was it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What hunt was that? Do you remember? I'm sure you do.
That was the Central Florida.
Central Florida. That's been a good hunt for you then.
Yeah, it's been pretty good to me.
I'd say so.
I actually won. I won the all age, and he won the Derby that year.
Wow. Yeah, but talk about on the weekend you never forget, and you probably didn't even really realize at the time what you had going on.
Oh, I had no idea. I mean, I knew he won, but I didn't know how big a deal it was. I didn't know that was that. Loaded the dog feed up and went home.
Right. And that's an outside hunt, right?
That's an outside hunt. Yep.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't talking wrong. That's awesome.
No, I didn't go to a pen hunt for probably 3 years after my first field trial. I went to my first pen hunt.
And where was that at?
That was in St. George.
Okay. Was that OTE, I guess?
That's OTE. Yep. Just a 1 day speed and drive, and took some deer dogs up there, not knowing much, and found out fast that I couldn't compete in the pen.
That was a whole different ball game, ain't it?
It was a couple years before I even placed a dog in the pen, trying to get, some better breeding and getting away from them, taking them deer dogs. And
yep. That's the hardest part, man. I mean, it's kind of neat, talking, a lot of these guys that we get on here, they've been doing it for their whole life. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they haven't earned it or haven't walked into it or nothing like that, but man, it's for somebody that's coming into it, halfway through their life and not been born into it, it's a whole lot different. It's hard to get in and get these dogs and get a good kennel built under, for inside.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was discouraging there for a while, not being able to do anything in the pen, but I toughed it out and stuck with it, and I've got me a pretty decent group of dogs the past couple years to compete with, so it's been fun. I'm more of a pen guy now than I am an outside field trialer.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of that stuff's starting to slip away down there in Florida, ain't it?
Oh yeah, it's not as big as it used to be. I know Central Florida, I mean, there used to be 600 dogs at the 3 day down here that, I didn't attend, but I've heard about. And now, we're lucky to get 250.
Right.
And I know they have some hunts in North Florida up there towards the Panhandle where Sky Scott and all them are. And
yeah.
I've always heard good things about those hunts, but it's just never lined up right with me to go.
Yeah. It's difficult, man. It's, me and my kennel partner were just talking about that. There's so many hunts out there, it's hard to get lined up, and especially if you're not hunting a huge group of dogs that are all over the place, it's hard to hit a lot of hunts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm lucky. I mean, OT isn't too far from me. That's the closest fox pen to me, and it takes me just over 2 hours to get there.
I gotcha.
But they have a hunt, they have hunts pretty regular, and good group of people up there, and put on a good hunt, good running game. And other than that, I go to Swainsboro, and that's really the only other place I've been to a pen hunt is Swainsboro and St. George. And I love Swainsboro too. It's just it's a heck of a drive for me.
Yeah, and that's a huge pen too. That's one I'm pretty excited to get down. Eventually, I don't know when it's going to be, but I want to get down there something fierce.
Oh, I love it there. I mean, they put on a real good hunt up there, and it's a good fast pen. I mean, it takes a dog at both of those pens. It takes a tough, fast dog, and you better know how to run something.
That's right. So you've been field trialing, you said, since what would you say, 2015? Is that right?
2015. Yep.
So just under 10 years.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. So, we'll kind of get right into the meat of this one. Champion Livewires J-Dubb. That dog is, man, it really caught my interest and kind of caught my eye, especially after this last one that you just got. He's a 3-time champion now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
3-time champion, and he's done it in all 3 ways that you can think of. First, he made, let's see, I'm going to make sure I do this right. The first one he made was the Central Florida 3-day field and dual champion, and that was on the outside. Then,
on the outside.
Yep. Go ahead. Sorry. No.
I won the trailing and won the speed and drive, won the endurance. And he was second the first day, second the second day, and then won it the third day.
Man. So then the following year, he goes to the Florida State 3-day, and which is in the wire.
Mm-hmm.
First HGA, first speed and drive, first endurance, and the combination winner. And then just recently made straight dual champion with third HGA at the Coastal Georgia. So he's been a dual champion twice, a field champion once. No, twice. Yep. And done it on the inside and on the outside. That's incredible. And that's just the tipping point of his, I'm looking at you sent me all his stats and everything that he's done. And, from puppy hunts all the way to, doing all that like we just talked, that's just incredible, man. What's kind of let's start from the beginning on him. I really want to focus in on the dog itself, what's the breeding behind him? So let's start there. What's his breeding?
So he is off of Champion's Dog Pile John Wayne and Red's Yellow Girl. Okay. So John Wayne, a buddy of mine, Austin, owns him, and Yellow Girl, a buddy of mine, Justin, owns her. And that cross has just been there's 3 champions out of that litter. They're a good dog, good cross. I think I had 5 of the 8 out of that litter at one point. I know Justin still has 2, and my buddy Tracy still has 1, and I've got J-Dubb and his sister.
Man. So you said 3 different dogs have made champions out of that litter.
Yeah. His sister, my buddy Tracy owns. She won the Geechee hunt 2 years ago, field champion there. And then my buddy Justin owns a bench champion out of that litter. He made a bench champion.
Very nice. Whereas now I know you got duels, so you've been top 4 at least in there. Do you remember exactly where he was at on those benches that he made? I know I'm kind of going a little all over the place.
Central Florida, he was, I believe, 2nd on the bench. And then the Coastal, he was 4th.
Just did creep in there.
just did creep in there, yeah.
It's all that matters. He made it.
And I'm still he's made it on every bench show every hunt that has a bench show, and I've put him on the bench. He's always got on the bench besides one hunt, and I'm still a little salty about it. The South Carolina State, he didn't get on the bench, but he placed 2nd in the field. So that's kind of a still salty point on me because I could have made another duel there.
Oh, man. He's a sharp-looking joker. That's for daggone sure. I'm sitting here looking at the pictures of him now. So did you have him from a puppy?
I did not.
Okay.
my buddy Austin owned him. I'd got him when he was just a year old. So my buddy Austin had placed him in that puppy hunt.
Okay.
And then he called me. He said he's going to make some cuts and get rid of some dogs, and he was going to go run his sister and him. He was going to pick which one he was going to send to me. So he run them in Swainsboro, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to send you the male." He said he's real athletic. He gets around good. He said he just can't stick a piece of game like I like.
Okay.
So I got him, and then I think it was 2 weeks later I got a call. He said, "If you want his sister, you can have his sister." Now his sister's just a freak of nature. She's fast as can be, just no luck in the field trial world.
Gotcha.
But,
Can't quite land it out there.
And I've placed her, but nothing like him. He's just head smart.
Yeah, he got just outshined
and
a little bit.
A lot of his success has been mainly just me getting him, and as soon as I got him, went to deer hunting him. And where I deer hunt over there in the wild, you have to learn how to run something. You can't just, there's no road you can cut. You can't, a dog's got to work and got to hunt. So that made him pretty much learn how to stick to a piece of game. And then from then on, it's just, he's been on fire.
Love it. So I bet you're how mad is your buddy about getting rid of him now?
Oh, he's not mad. He's as happy as could be for me. I mean, he doesn't, he's not salty about it. Nothing. He's just as happy. If I'm getting ready for a hunt in Swainsboro, he lives up there, so sometimes I'll send him J-Dubb to run in Swainsboro for a month before the hunt.
Gotcha.
And he'll keep him right for me.
That's
that's the only person that I would trust with him.
That's good, though. You got to have that.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have that kind of stuff, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a second real quick and interrupt the show and talk about Cajun Lights. They have jumped on board to support the Hounds Tales podcast and the field trialing community. You got nighttime field trials coming up. I know I do in my series, Pleasure Running at Night. When you need to catch that next crossing, put your trust in Cajun Lights. Cajun Lights is made in America product out of North Carolina, who has been in business for over 25 years. They make cap style and bucket hat headlamps to free up that extra hand for your voice recorder or for your GPS. There are three main lights I want to focus on real quick. The first is the Micro Gator, which is the lightweight option. It has 4 brightness levels and 4 color options, including red for us field trialers. Rated at 50 to 60 hours of battery life on the highest setting, this is your flood style lamp that'll do really good for us out in the fields in the short brush and be able to help us get in front of those crossings. Next up is the Cajun Bayou, which is the next step up, and it includes the same number of colors and brightness levels, but it packs a much bigger punch on that brightness level, so you can catch those crossings way down the path when you got a long road to cover. And last but not least is the top level Cajun Blinder. It has a main beam light with 4 levels of brightness and includes a walking light, and even with a light this bright, the burn life on it is rated at 5 to 6 hours on the highest setting. There's no chance of missing a dog with a light like this one, folks. All their lights come with a 2-year warranty and a lifetime labor warranty, and these guys are excited to get into our sport, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all be sure, if you see me at a hunt, come ask me about them. I'll have one of each of these lights on hand to show you and let you put it on your head and kind of experience it. Show these guys some love, guys. And y'all, please go visit their website at CajunLights.com, and their phone number is 888-773-3080. Thank you, Cajun Lights, for all you do and for trying to get into this sport. Like I said, guys, let's show them some love. Let's get back to the show, guys. Here we go. I mean, this sport. So I think I talk about it on a lot of these episodes. But man, this sport's so tough, man. If you don't have a teamwork behind you, it's damn near impossible to do this.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He doesn't like competing in hunts with him, but he doesn't. He, like I said, he's just as happy if I were to win, and I'm just as happy if he wins.
So your buddy then, he had that dog from a puppy then.
He's the one who, well, Justin Lucas is the one who had the female, so he raised them all, and then
Gotcha.
they split them up between 3 of them up there.
Okay.
And then from then on, it's, I got them from Austin. He doesn't have any more of that litter, but now the big joke is now they're going to make that cross again, and every dog that they go to get rid of, it's a big thing now. Like, don't send it down to Brandon, don't send it to Florida, because then, we never know what's going to happen when they go down there.
That's right. Hey, that outside stuff though, man. A lot of people, a lot of people swear by it. It'll put the head right in them. It'll definitely teach them something.
Yeah, yep. I had another one that my buddy Tracy sent me a few years ago,
mm-hmm.
and she was my first dog that I could take to the pen and really get my name called every time. But I got her when she was young. I had watched her run up there at the Coastal, and I liked the way she ran. And I told Tracy, he said, "Well, I really don't care for her too much." And I think she had won a puppy hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third day, he said, "You want that dog? Take her home." And started deer hunting her. And every hunt I went to in the pen, she'd be right there. And I almost won the Florida State with her 3 years ago.
Dang.
She let it the first 2 days, and then hurt herself and ended up getting scratched. And all she had to do was finish the third day, and she'd have won it.
Oh man, did she get lay down?
She laid down right in front of God and everyone.
Oh man.
and I knew sending her out that third day, I said, 100% she's getting scratched today.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could do to make her feel better. She had hurt her hip or something.
Right. But you gotta send them at that point though. You gotta send them and try.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. So it doesn't look like now. How many hunts? Let's see. So his puppy hunt was in 21, and then looks like you went through 22. How was his 2022 season? I see you hit pretty decent. You hit at this Central Florida 7th Speed and Drive, and then is that North Florida 3-day? Is that right?
Yeah. So the North Florida 3-day, I had actually told myself going into that hunt, I said, if I don't place J-Dubb in this hunt, I'll probably get rid of him, because I was placing him on the outside
mm-hmm.
a little bit, and then he's just, I said, I'll give him this one chance.
Right.
And he went and he placed in that hunt, and that's what really, something at that hunt, or maybe he's just that right age, but something at that hunt, every hunt after that, he was placing.
Well, you know how males are, man. Sometimes it takes them males just a little bit longer to click in.
Yeah, it does, and I'm happy he placed, because I was, like I said, on the brink end of getting rid of him right there, because I actually got rid of it. He placed and his brother didn't, so I got rid of his brother, and his brother had been doing better than him up to that point.
Of course. Males are like that too, man. Like it's so funny. I got 2 right now that, it's. The one brother was started off really, really strong, and the other brother didn't. I mean, for a good little while, he wasn't worth a crap. I mean, I legit, I had him on the scratch list, and then was gonna go ahead and move him. And then one weekend, it just clicked, and ever since then, it's been game on. And he's been way better than his brother ever since.
That's the one you just made champion?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Literally 3 weeks before that hunt is when it clicked on him. He had 2 runs where it really clicked, and I was like, oh, crap, like, we got a chance going down here. And he come down there with the A game, I guess.
Yeah, he was in the top 5 all 3 days, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. Yep. He went out. He was leading the first day, dropped to 5th on the second, and pulled back up on the last day.
Yeah, I never liked leading one the first day. That's always bad luck to me.
I was a nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah, that's it. At the Florida State, I was, I really didn't have the expectation there, because the Florida State, I think I went out. He was 4th the first day, 6th the first day, 4th the second day,
mm-hmm.
and then won it the last day. So I was really surprised there, because usually, the hunts that he does good in, he's, back anywhere in the top 30 is where I like him to be.
Right.
So
right.
somewhere right there, because he's the kind of dog that, it's just the first day is his day to just get settled in. Second day, he gets stronger. And then the third day, he's, just as hyper and energetic as the first day. And he's got his head straight. And that's when he's really going to blow you away.
I love it. I see that. It looks like a lot on that list that you sent me. He's way up there on the high dogs on the last day. Seems like that, like you're talking about. That's when the second and third day is when he comes back to life and really shows you what he's got.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk that first one, man.
Go ahead.
That's obviously it wasn't your first field champion, so but the first time making him a field champion, I'm sure you remember the weekend pretty decent, field and dual. So what?
Yeah, that was a real good hunt. So we had usually that hunt's hit or miss with the coyote and fox running. There's a lot of deer running, and they won't judge them on deer. They won't score them.
Right.
So a lot of times we struggle to fill the scoreboard up.
Right.
So that year we had excellent running from start to finish. I mean, it was normally you're looking good with like 40 points the first day. So the first day of that hunt, I think he had, I want to say 195.
Wow.
Something like that, but it was good. I mean, it was like I said, it's wall to wall running right there. So then I had another dog. He was like 40 points ahead of J-Dubb. Okay. So J-Dubb was second. He was first. Second day, just as good running. He pulled up. He was still second, and he was, I think, 20 points behind that first place dog. And then the third day, right there at Cast, he come back out. There's a big power line there. He come back out to the power line, and I had seen him. I seen him on my GPS, and he just hit the road and run down the road for 500 yards. And then I said, well, this ain't going to be good. And then struck out to the north, and I had heard him, and my screen said that he was barking. So I said, well, he's jumped him a deer right there. He'll be good.
Right.
Well, come to find out, he went in there, and there was a judge right there where he went in. And he'd heard him start trailing, and they'd run a coyote back across the road. So he got the maximum trailing score for producing the game, and then that speed and drive score.
Nice.
So that right there just topped the cake, right?
Locked it in.
On the hunt. Yep.
Locked it in. Where did he end up in? Do you remember where he ended up in hunting category?
Oh, I don't even think he categorized in the hunting.
No kidding.
I don't think so.
Wow.
I could be wrong, but he wasn't.
It wasn't way up there.
But he won the trailing, and then won the speed and drive.
That's awesome. And
See,
it's so funny, talking. Obviously that's an outside hunt, but usually when a dog hits a trailing score like that, he's gonna place up here at least. He's gonna place in the hunting category too. That was one of the things I was looking at at a lot of his stuff, and I was like, man, I said, he's got these trailing, the trailing deal, and then I said, I don't see a hunting score. What the heck is going on?
Yeah, they give a lot of hunting on these outside hunts down here. So it takes, it'll take 50 points just to get in the hunt.
That's wild. That's it. That's not a crazy amount of points, but also at the same time, that's a decent amount of hunting score.
Yeah. Yep. Now the pen hunts, he used to throw a hunting score every 3 day I took him to.
Right.
And lately he has not. I mean, it's just been such good running in these pens down here. There's, like I say, if he's got time to get a hunting score and piddle around, I don't. He shouldn't.
That's right.
He's that kind of dog where there's something around every bush. There's running everywhere you go. He should be running.
That's right. So let's see. So after the Central Florida, made the field champion, made the dual champion. That's awesome in itself. And then he went on. Let's see, just hit some of these 1 days. Let's see, he was third place at the OTE Winter Bash, Florida State 1 day. I'm assuming 11th speed and drive. Central Florida 1 day, first speed and drive, 9th HGA. Then we get to South Carolina State 3 day, 4th HGA.
Or fourth, okay, yeah, second speed and drive, I think.
Yep, second speed and drive, third endurance, high dog on the third day. Then you hit the OTE Winter Bash again and won the 3 hour speed and drive.
Yep.
Then you come into the Florida State. we talked about it a little bit, but I know that was this year. That was what month is that hunt? That's early, ain't it?
That is the last week of February. It's February 27th, 28th, and the 1st of March.
Gotcha.
So that hunt was, I had been running on the outside. At the last hunt I went to before that was at 3 hours. So then the 3 hour really shocked me because he hadn't been in a fox pen since the North Florida the previous year, and then it was deer season. So I hadn't run them in the pen, not once, and went to that hunt right there. I said, well, I'll go to that little 3 hour whatever, and won that. And then after that, I think it was 5 weeks to the Florida State, or 4 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
And just ran them on the outside as much as I could down here. Didn't really have time to get up to the pen.
Right.
And then went to the Florida State. Didn't have real high expectations. He had something going on with his eye where he couldn't hardly open one of his eyes, and that healed up like the day of the Florida State.
It just lined up perfect.
Yeah. And that was, I will say, that is probably the best hunt that I've been to.
No kidding.
Just as far as just running. I mean, 3 solid days, 15 hours of anywhere you listen, there was just screaming.
Wow.
I mean, it was a tough hunt. I mean, your dog you had to come there with something good and with them in top shape.
What pen was that?
That was OT.
OT. Gotcha.
That's at the Florida State. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that was right, but I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to speak out of place there.
Yep. That was I'll tell anybody that's the best hunt that I've ever been to, just as far as the running. And everyone said, well, you won the hunt. I would say that too. And it's not just because I won the hunt. Any dog that could have won that hunt, it was a good dog.
Nice. I love it. What kind of scoring did it take? Do you remember?
He ended up with just shy of 1,200 points speed and drive, I believe.
Dang. That's good.
I think it was 1180, I believe.
Yeah, that ain't nothing to shake your head at. That's awesome. That's good scoring right there. Because that's not a very small pen. That's a pretty decent sized little pen, ain't it?
That is 1,100 acres.
That's what I thought. It's good. It's a good sized pen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all in them damn big pens down there.
There's a lot of them. There's not real small ones. I mean, there's some small, 100-acre pens and 200-acre pens that don't have puppy hunts in, and I don't go to puppy hunts, so that's the only pen that I really go to field trot down here.
I'm the same way. I'm not a puppy hunter. I'll go to a puppy hunt to get some experience, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've never been to a puppy hunt.
You ain't missing nothing.
We're going to take a quick second here and interrupt this episode and let you all know about our friends over at Southern Hound Hunting Magazine. Do you enjoy reading stories from houndsmen across the country? Diving into real-life experiences out there in the woods with working hounds of every kind? Deer dogging, bear dogging, hog dogging, small game dogging, you name it, the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine has it. And it's bringing it to you page after page while also spreading a positive image of this beautiful sport that we all love. Be sure to sign up today, and for just $15 a year, you can have quarterly magazines filled with nothing but dog hunting sent right to your door. Check them out today at southernhoundhunting.com and get in the hunt. Let's get back to the episode.
Well, I don't know if they do it up there, but they don't scratch dogs down here at puppy hunts. So I don't know if that's,
It's hit or miss. Depends where you go, who's running it, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't care if it's a 6-month-old puppy hunt or a 12-month-old puppy hunt. If a dog needs to be scratched,
Yep.
people need to know what they're feeding.
Yep, I agree. I want to know about it. So we'll hit the last one, man. The coastal Georgia. That one here was what about a month ago, right? That's what I thought.
Yep.
Yep.
So I went to and a month before that, there was the Ogeechee in Swainsboro.
Yeah.
So I told myself that after the Florida State, I wanted to place him one more time at a 3-day in a pen.
Right.
So I went into Ogeechee, and I really wanted to win that one, or even just place. And if he would have placed in the Ogeechee, I would have been done with him. but he didn't. He come up 15th. He placed 15th or 16th.
Yep.
And then I said, well, we'll give it another shot at the Coastal, and really didn't go in there too in shape. From the Agitzi, I laid him up for a week and a half. I went to St. George and run 2 days in a row, and then the following week went straight back to Swainsboro, and I was only going to run 1 day. So I went and run some puppies with my buddy, and so we were an hour away from Swainsboro, and I get a call from one of my other buddies. He's running Swainsboro. He's the only one running. He said, hey, man, where are you at? I said, I'm running puppies. He said, well, J-Dubb just come by me in Swainsboro running. And I guess he had got out of the dog pen.
No kidding.
So he had actually, him and another dog. So I went back there after running puppies, and he had been out 7 hours running that day. And I caught him, and I wasn't going to turn him loose. And that Sunday, I said, that's good enough for him.
Right.
And then he was just biting the wire to go when I turned loose Sunday. So I let him go. I was going to catch him in 2.5 hours. I was going to let him run. And then me and my buddy just seen him, still killing dogs there 3 hours in. So I just said, I'll run him 5 hours. I'm not worried about him.
Dang, all right.
I think it was 9 days later or 8 days later, I went up to the Coastal, and he was 31st the first day, and then pulled up to, I want to say 12th the second day.
That's it.
Or no. I'm sorry. First the second day.
Okay.
He was leading the speed and drive. So he went 31st to first.
Wow.
And then, so he wasn't even the high dog the second day either. But pulled up there, and then, maybe he was, I forget. Then the third day really didn't get a lot of scoring. The third day he got in a bad area, but still just enough to hold first speed and drive.
Just enough to hold on to it.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. So I see first speed and first endurance. So I guess he got beat out by some hunting scores for the first HGA.
Yeah, my buddy Tracy beat me, which I'm happy for him.
Right.
I'm happy for him. He placed. He was fourth in hunting and fourth in speed and drive. So it's not like I got beat by a slow dog.
Nope, so. Not at all. That's good though. That's you can't ask for much better, especially if it's a buddy.
Yeah, no, I was happy for him, and I'm like I said, I get just as happy if my buddy wins or if I win.
That's right. So it looks like y'all started studying him out too a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I've started breeding him here lately quite a bit, actually, especially in the last month. I mean, I've bred him just in the last 14 days. He's been bred 11 of those days.
Wow.
So.
That's awesome. Hey, how many any litters hitting the ground? Anything out there yet?
The only ones running off of him are the couple that I have. I've got a couple at the house.
Okay. And
they're just now 10 and a half months old, and I really been slacking on them. I had them started, took them. I've only personally watched them run once, and just haven't had the time. Just been focusing on these 3 days, but I need to really get them in shape.
It's tough running.
See what they're going to do.
Groups. Man, it's tough.
It is, and I'm not one to run. I'm going to go run my Septembers or the Octobers. I run my puppies have it hard. I run them once they get started. They're running with grown dogs.
You better get it from the nub and improve yourself.
Yeah, and I go through a lot of young dogs just because I run them as puppies with my grown dogs, and well, hey, they're not getting crossings on my older dogs, so They must get rid of them. But yeah, and these ones that I've got, the guy that I have start my puppies for me, he run them for a month, and he said they're nice dogs, and when I had watched them run up there, they look pretty impressive. They're classy, big, strong built dogs.
Mm-hmm. How big is J-Dubb?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never really measured him, but he's a big dog. He's probably 27 inches,
okay.
26, 27
tall.
inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
was trying
stout.
to.
I mean,
Yeah, I was trying to look through your pictures and kind of get an idea about how tall he was, but yeah, I think y'all got a lot
he's
of
pretty
tall
good
dogs
size.
down there anyway.
Yeah, that bloodline there is comes from a bunch of big dogs.
Gotcha.
And that comes from the Moneymaker and the Moneymaker bloodline mainly. I mean, he just throws a big dog.
Gotcha.
Now John Wayne looks identical to him, but John Wayne's got probably half an inch on him.
Now that John Wayne dog has been throwing really good down there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He has I mean, there was just a dog the other day at that 2-day buggy, the 2-day buggy hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the guy placed him. What was I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it was 6th or something. But he was the high dog the second day, and that dog's, I think Austin told me that dog's 13 or 14 months old.
Okay.
And then the litter mate was the high dog the first day, but fell off the second day.
See if I can find it.
I forget. Slip 'em in Kennels is who owns the dogs.
Okay.
But they're big, pretty looking things too.
Yeah, there he is. Yep, he was.
And that's what
he ended up 9th.
9th. Okay.
Yeah, he ended up
number
9th.
60, I believe.
50. Yep.
50.
Yep. I remember that dog down. Now that you didn't sit down and look at the number, I remember that dog. That dog was moving really good down there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with them John Waynes. I mean, he throws a big, classy, strong dog, 3-day dog. I mean, I don't know how good. We don't really focus on the 1 days, so
That's
I
right.
like a 3-day dog.
I'm the same way, man. I was just talking. I forgot who I was talking to about that the other day, and there was like, these 1 days are fun. These 1 days are great, but man, once you get involved in a 3-day, it's over. It's over. That's all I care about anymore.
I go to a 1 day just to run my dogs and condition them. Pretty much,
right.
Just go for the fun. I mean, it's fun to go to a hunt. It's fun to, shoot the crap with people there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. I like going and judging them. It helps you. Helps you get out there, gets in the field, and kind of gets your eyes on some dogs and helps out these hunts and stuff like that. But you ain't gotta put the miles and stuff on your own stuff too.
Yeah. I've been judging recently. I've been, before I told myself, if I'm going to a hunt, I'm not going to go with no dogs. And lately, it's just been, I'll leave mine at the house. I'll come judge. I'll come help out.
That's right. That's right. That's what we got to do.
It's a lot easier to judge. I mean, you don't got to worry about painting dogs. You ain't got to worry about nothing else. You just show up and judge.
That's right.
Now,
So
3-day, everyone keeps asking me to judge 3 days, and that's where I'll draw the line. If I'm taking off work for 4 days, I'm gonna have my dogs with me.
I get it, man. I get it. It's fun. I can't say nothing. I love judging a 3-day. I'm the same way. It's hard for me to, especially when you got a pen full of them ready to go, and you're working your tail off to try to get them right, and you got to leave them sitting at the house. But man, I do enjoy judging the 3-day.
I imagine it would be fun. I could see it being a great time. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it.
I get it. So what's next for J-Dubb, man? What's you going to try to get him in a few more, or is he done? Or are you just going to stud him? What's his? Where you at with him?
I'm kind of at a crossroads with myself. I told myself I'm done with him. Then I got the Hound of the Year sheets came out. He's second in the Hound of the Year. And, the North Florida's coming up. The Georgia State's coming up. So I might pick one of those, go to that. Or what I've been contemplating is just, really focus just on him, not even these other field trials dogs that I've got, and take him to the USO in December. And just really being done with him after that.
Yep. Where's that going to be at this year?
That's in Swainsboro.
Yep.
I thought 4 days straight.
Yep.
That's the kind of hunt, and I told, that's the kind of hunt he's built for. The third, you could catch him on the 3rd day, and he's ready to go 4 days. He's ready for another day.
You talk about it and to an already impressive resume. Imagine putting the USO on it.
Man, I'd love it. I
think you ought to do it.
Yeah.
I think you ought to do it.
The only thing there is it's right in the middle of my deer season down here.
That's right.
It's hard for me to take off. It's hard for me to even go to a field trial during deer season because I love deer hunting.
You know, and I'm kind of the same way, but I have gotten to the point, like, you know, I know the Invitational is in, you know, it's in December, first week of December, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going. I don't, you know, that right there, I'm going to it 100% this year. I wanted to go last year, but the dogs that I had qualified, I knew they weren't ready when that time come around, so I let that one slip. But I got this other dog qualified now, and I'm not missing it this year. And I could care less about deer season when that week hits. I really could.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got one you're confident in, I mean, I would definitely. I mean, that's a big hunt.
Yeah,
like you said, good thing to add to the resume.
That's right. And another one I want to hit is the All-American too.
Yeah, that's going to be in Swainsboro as well.
That's what I thought. I've been hearing that it's going to be in Swainsboro.
Yep. The only thing that would be a great hunt. And that's what my buddy Austin, he told me, he said, well, I'd go to the All-American over the USO with him. And it's just that, I mean, that's really technically 5 days.
Right. That little
4 days or 1 day break. And, you got to get your dog and take him on a walk, 3 mile walk on that off day just to keep him from stoving up on you.
That's right. I'm here for it, man. I have every intention on being down there next year with it. I have every intention.
And I believe that's in March.
Yeah, it's either March or February. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I believe it's March.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, it's going to be nice weather up there. It's usually pretty cold in the mornings up there in March.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And that's another reason I want to go to the USO, because it's in the middle of December. It's going to be cold.
Won't be hot. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine down there right now. We're freaking boiling up here. We're at the gates of hell up here, so I can't imagine what y'all got going on down there.
It's hitting like 115 heat indexes every day down here.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Y'all have that.
It's tough. I mean, and Swainsboro is just as hot as down here sometimes. I mean, I've looked at the weather sometimes. It's been, just as hot. I know the coastal, when we was up there at the coastal, the Friday or Saturday was projected, the actual temperature was 99 degrees, and it was 99 degrees with a heat index of, I think, 106.
Nope. Y'all keep it. We had 90. We hit 98 the other day, I think 98, 99, with heat, about those same temperatures. And I was like, don't get me wrong, I'd rather be hot than cold any day, but man, that's pushing it.
Yeah, I'll take the cold.
I want to take a second and talk about Frontline Optics real quick, guys. They are a sunglasses company that is owned and operated by frontline workers, fires, and emergency services, guys. They have designed glasses with us in mind, with the frontline workers in mind, people that are out there using your sunglasses every day and don't want to break the bank and have a pair of sunglasses get broke and just be out of that that crazy amount of money. Guys, these are high quality polarized sunglasses that are durable, affordable, and ultimately represent our lifestyle. In addition to that, a portion of all proceeds from the sale of these glasses is donated to First Responders Children's Foundation. It is in support of those children who have lost a parent in the line of duty. How cool is that, guys? So, guys, check these guys out, frontlineoptics.com. Go to their website, and when you go to checkout, be sure to type in the promo code HoundsTales. That's TALES while you check out, and you'll receive 15% off your first purchase. Also, these guys have a first-time replacement, no questions asked program. Be sure to check that out, guys. These guys are awesome. I can't thank them enough for jumping on board, and we'll get back to the show.
You in the wrong damn area to be want the cold.
I am. Yep.
Yeah, I was saying y'all don't get cold down there.
It's way too hot down here. Yeah.
You been down there your whole life then?
Pretty much. I've been in Florida since I was in elementary school. So yeah.
Gotcha. I want to take a step back, kind of go back a little bit on the beginning. Livewires, that's your kennel name?
Yep.
So Livewires was the first dog. You came out of left field and made the champion first time out. So that dog kind of got it started for you. Where did obviously you named your kennel after him. Where did your field trialing career kind of go after that? Where was where did you progress from that? How did that work?
Well, the next year, I really learned about it and what field trialing really was. So then I went to we used to have 4 field trials down here in the outside in the Central Florida. So I hit every one of them, and I was I do pretty decent down there. I'll go and place a couple dogs, and then it just from then like I said, I was got interested in going to the fox pen and went to the fox pen with the deer dogs and didn't have no luck, and just kind of kept my deer dogs on the outside, running them in field trials and having decent success with them, and was breeding that live wire dog to everything I could, and
right.
having pretty good success with them too. He's still alive, and I still deer hunt him every day of deer season. Still deer hunt him, and he's by far the best deer dog that I've hunted around.
Golly, he's got to be 11 years old now? 11, 12?
No, he is 9, 10. Yeah. When he won that hunt in Central Florida, he was only 10 months old.
Wow.
Yeah, he was young.
And is he a fully registered dog, or is he just some off-the-wall
Nope,
breed?
he is his dad was a full walker.
Okay.
And his dad was off of Hammering Down Ace.
Okay.
And his dad wasn't a registered dog either, and then his mom, Livewire's mom, she is a blue tick walker, so she looks like a straight up blue tick.
Gotcha.
So he's just a great dog.
Just a great dog, tree stock.
Yep.
I love it.
And he'll take a 12-hour track from the road and trail it, and he's not gonna boohoo around. He'll still outrun J-Dubb in the deer woods.
Wow.
No bull crap. He's just a deer heathen, loves them. You kill a deer, he's gonna be chewing at it, fighting you to get off of it.
Right.
We still breed him, and actually I just bred a Jip off of Livewire to J-Dubb to see how they do in the deer woods.
Okay, I gotcha. Very nice. How does J-Dubb do out there in the deer woods?
He likes a deer. He'll jump a deer. He'll hunt around. The only thing is he doesn't bark as much on a deer than he does on a varmint.
Gotcha.
That's really it. He'll run one till it's dead, and he'll usually, if he's running one, and he's 20 steps behind it.
Gotcha. Right on top.
Yep. And I say he loves the deer, but he doesn't necessarily love them. He'll run them, but he gets a little tight mouth on them.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Heck, like he's supposed to, he's a field trial dog, so they really don't. A lot of people.
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't fault him for it. Whatever. I don't say, hey, this is the number one deer dog in the world. I take him deer hunting just to run him every single day.
That's right.
Because with my work, I own my own business. So deer season comes, I take 7 weeks off of work and I deer hunt. I deer hunt, Sunday to Sunday.
You lucky dog, you.
And he's with me 7 days a week in them deer woods, just because after deer season he's in top shape and
that's right,
ready to field trial.
I love it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on, man, definitely a once in a lifetime hound. I hope he throws something at least halfway close to him and keeps you in the mix, man. That's an awesome dog. I find it super rare, super impressive for a dog to be able to do it on the outside, inside, and make a champion both ways.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So what's next for you, man? what's some goals for you? You know, you've made dirt, you know, you made a duel, you've made a field champion, you know, you've done it a couple times, you know, so what's on your radar? What's a goal that you have in mind that you want to hit here coming up?
Well, I would like to earn some more Hound of the Year points and try to bump him up to first to get the Hound of the Year.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick a hunt and try to make something happen there. Get him back in shape and get him ready for either the Georgia State or North Florida.
Gotcha.
See if we can't get some Hound of the Year points.
Love it. That's a hard thing to chase. Man, that's a hard
It
thing
is.
to chase.
It is. And realistically, I don't know how the point system works there. I don't know if he could even get enough points going to one more hunt to bump him up, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, I haven't really looked to see where he's at. And
I think he's 700 points back, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much you get for winning a hunt or duel, or I want to say you get at least, I think, 700 for a duel and field. So
I can't remember. I haven't.
But even if that's the case, it'd be hard to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna need to do it twice, to be honest with you.
yeah. If I can hold on the second, hey, I'm good with.
Well, shoot, even a top 5 is still just that's a feat all in itself, you know.
Yep, I know. Last year he was like 7th, and he went back to, I think he finished I think he was in the top 20 out of the year last year.
That's still, I mean, it's nothing wrong with that at all, you know?
No, not a lot of people can say that.
Nope, not at all, man. Not at all. So, we talked a little bit before we got this thing started. You know, we're getting kind of here towards the end a little bit. I always give my guest a couple options to choose from, and I'm so glad you did it. Nobody ever wants to tackle this one. We're going to talk about a rule that you would like to see added or removed out of the field trialing world.
I've got 2 I'll hit on here in that subject, and I'll get a lot of shit for them probably.
It ain't no fun if you ain't getting crap for it.
so in a national hunt, I always stick by it. If you're going to have a national hunt in the pen, the trail in HGA. The Masters got that figured out. Cut it in half to 50 points. Break a tiebreaker. Tiebreaker goes back to speed and drive. In reality, the pens nowadays, you've got so much running, trailing shouldn't weigh that heavy.
Yep.
I agree a dog should be able to produce game, jump game, but like I said, when there's 1,000 pieces of game and 1,000 acres, you should be able, there's really not a lot of time to sit there and trail. And, a lot of these guys, they don't come to out trail you. They come to outrun you.
That's right. Right.
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
I'm behind. I'm with you on that. I really am.
Yep. And then another rule, I'll switch it to the Masters. I love the Masters HGA program. The only thing I just can't agree with is it takes 2 judges to scratch a dog for a barking fault.
Really?
It takes 2 judges.
Well, I'm talking that you don't like it, man. I know that's the rule, but I'm impressed.
I don't like it. And a good friend of mine, he's judged field trials for 40 years.
Yeah.
And like he says, if they ask me to judge, they should have enough confidence in me to trust my judgment on a dog.
Yeah.
And I agree that, and I've heard it from both ends, there's so much game in these pens. You could blink an eye and miss, and you think a dog's babbling.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, and I know a lot of judges, I mean, I might be speaking out of turn here, but me and a couple people I know at least, if you see a dog popping at the mouth and you think it's popping at the mouth, just write it down on the back of your book and put it on probation. If you see it again, scratch a dog.
Right.
But chances are, if that dog's babbling at you, it's going to find another judge and it's going to babble in front of another judge.
Right. I'm mixed on it. I like, and this is just me speaking, we're just kind of, talking back and forth. I like the 2-scratch rule for the sheer fact of some of these guys.
The Hounds Tales podcast has teamed up with First Form Outdoors to get behind the hunters. Yes, that's right, the hunters. We as houndsmen put so much focus on our dogs that sometimes we forget to focus on our own selves and our health. Whether you're in the woods racing to get in front of that big buck chase or in the wire for 5 hours catching crossings up and down the path, we are constantly draining our bodies all day long. First Form offers energy drinks, hydration products, protein snacks, and other supplements to get us back up and going while we are doing what we love. Show yourself some love and visit firstform.com, and that's the number 1, STPHORM.com to check these guys out. And from here on out at all hunts, I will have products available for purchase. If you have any requests that you see when you visit firstform.com, feel free to contact me and place an order, and we'll make that happen. Now, back to the episode.
Don't do like you're talking about and put the, put their own probation list down. That's how I judge.
Right.
Like if I'm judging a nationals hunt, that's how I judge it. I make my own, I put a dog down if I see him and I'm not 100% sure. I'll put him on probation on my own list, and if I see him doing it again, then yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
But I like the two.
No.
I like the 2-scratch rule for the guys that don't do that. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's everyone's opinion, and that's just my personal opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, I've had dogs scratch for running a dog track,
Right.
or running a covered track,
Right.
and if and a lot of these judges, they see babbling, they see a dog. A dog can run down the road barking every breath,
Right.
but in the rule book it states if that dog's not interfering with a race,
Right.
you can't scratch it for babbling.
Exactly.
Just at the few hunts I've judged in the fox pen, I've seen dogs. I've seen 100% babbling. I mean, running straight down the road out of sight, barking every breath.
Yep. But they're not pulling anything.
But they're not. There's no dogs. It's not interfering with any chase.
Right.
So that dog's
Safe.
It's safe.
By the book, it's safe. I love it. No, I'm glad you touched on that, man. That's a couple things that I've heard, and I'm full board with you on the trailing score being only 50 in a national hunt. I'm full board with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. And
there's nothing that pisses me off more. There's nothing pissing me off more than going to a hunt, winning a speed and drive, and getting beat out by a dog that places, in the hunting, places in the trailing, and then is 100 and something speed with no speed and drive.
Right.
In my eyes, that's not a champion. That's not a winner. That's a piddler.
Yep, that's right. I'm with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a respect for it, but do I think it should be? I'm like you. Should it outshine and outplace a dog that was out there absolutely digging for 3 days? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's a puppy trainer or a deer dog.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, 10 minutes of work shouldn't outshine 15 hours of work.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep. I'm full board with you. I like the 50. I like the 50. Points. It does reward it, but it doesn't make it to where it's such a big gap to where he outshines the other ones. It still makes him have to do something with it.
Yeah. Well, just for example, at the Coastal, the dog that placed ahead of me was first place hunting, first place trailing the second day.
Right.
I was first place speed and drive, first place endurance. If the hunt would have ended the second day, I'd have got beat. We both had 200 HGA points, but I'd have got beat because the tiebreaker goes back to hunting.
Back to the hunting. Yep. It's some old school rules, man, and I think that's where the Masters shined and really kind of, I think that's why a lot of people run the Masters and like the Masters, more because it does reward a running dog a lot more, in my opinion.
I like I said, I love the Masters HGA. GTP, I'm really not, on all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
But Masters HGA, I love it.
Yep. I like it, man. I like it. Well, man, I really do appreciate you joining me. This has been fun. I've enjoyed talking on J-Dubb. it's not often I get to kind of talk to somebody and really zone in on one dog itself. It's really neat to be able to do that and bring that to everybody. A dog that's, like I said, that has done what he's done deserves the recognition. You deserve the recognition. You put the work in, you put the time in, and put the effort in, and you got a heck of a hound, man. So just congratulations for that, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate talking to you. It was good conversation.
Absolutely, bud. Anything anybody you want to give any shout out to before we get off here?
If I didn't, then I'd get some crap for it. I'll give a shout out to my buddy Austin for letting me have the dog.
There you go.
I say that just because I know one person on Cliff Horton. He'd give me hell if I don't shout Austin out. So I'm sure he'll be listening. I'm sure he'll listen to it.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, man, I certainly do appreciate it. And everybody out there listening, y'all don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. Help me get them followers up. If you have not, give us a rating on your listening platform. Please do give us 5 stars. It helps boost our ratings and gets us out there to more and more listeners. So thank y'all so much for listening. Y'all are awesome. And like always, guys, happy hunting.